They thought Kodiak was having separation anxiety. He was trying to tell them that the alarm was dead and the gas was rising. Tamara Elkins was 8 weeks postpartum, and the only thing she had full confidence in was the baby monitor, the smoke alarm, and the carbon monoxide detector, which she had tested herself on the day they brought Evie home. The batteries were new. The devices were certified. She had done the responsible thing because Tamara did the responsible thing. She had painted the nursery 4 weeks early, installed the outlet covers before Evie could crawl, and placed the CO detector on the wall at infant height, exactly as the instructions said. Kodiak was their 2-year-old Siberian Husky. He had been, before Evie, her constant companion. He slept at the foot of her bed. He matched her pace on morning runs. He was easy and attached, and the books she had read said that some dogs struggle with the arrival of an infant, and that a structured transition helped. She was trying to be structured. He was not sleeping outside the nursery door because no one had told him to. He was there every night and had been from the night they brought Evie home. Tamara moved him twice per night, and he returned between each move. She assumed attachment, routine disruption, jealousy, the familiar catalog of explanations for a dog who would not stay where he was placed. By the 3rd week, she stopped moving him. The pediatric sleep consultant had said that established bedtime routines were important. She added Kodiak being outside the nursery door to the routine and told herself it was affection. He began pacing at 9 days old, not at the door, along the hallway between the nursery and the bedroom, a slow, methodical loop that she heard at 2 and 4 a.m. and attributed to the adjustment period that dogs need. Her mother, who was staying for the month, said, "That dog is anxious." Tamara agreed. They agreed together. That felt like knowledge. If you stay for stories about what animals sense before we do, you are in the right place. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. At 3:18 a.m. on a Thursday, Kodiak came into the bedroom and sat beside Tamara's side of the bed and made a sound she had never heard him make. Not a bark, not a whine, a low sustained vocalization that she later described as having physical weight. She was awake immediately. She got to the nursery in 14 seconds. Evie was in the crib, eyes open, breathing, not crying. She stood in the nursery for 30 seconds, trying to understand what she was responding to. The room smelled slightly wrong. Sweet in a way that wasn't the smell of the diaper pail or the fabric softener on the crib sheets. Faintly chemical. Faintly wrong. She picked up Evie and carried her to the bedroom and called 911 as she moved. The fire department arrived in 9 minutes. The first responder, Lieutenant Craig Doherty, carried a CO monitor that read 68 parts per million at the doorway of the nursery. At floor level, near the crib, the reading was 81 parts per million. Has your dog ever done something that made no sense until it was the only thing that made sense? Tell us in the comments. These stories deserve to be heard. The CO detector on the wall of the nursery had a dead battery. Not a failed battery, a dead one. The low battery indicator had beeped at some point, probably during the night, probably once, quietly, and she had not heard it. The water heater in the utility room beside the nursery had a failing flue seal. CO had been migrating through the shared wall into the nursery for 11 days. Lieutenant Doherty stood in the hallway and said, "How long has the dog been sleeping outside this door?" Tamara said, "Since we brought her home." He said, "They detect CO at concentrations below our alarm threshold. Your alarm's threshold is 70 ppm. At the floor, where your infant sleeps, it was already past that. Your dog has been at that door because he knew something was wrong in that room." He paused. "You got to her before she hit clinical exposure levels. Barely. But you got there. Every guardian deserves to be recognized, even the ones who never asked for anything in return. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe so you never miss the next one." The water heater was replaced. A hardwired CO detector was installed with battery backup. Tamara kept the old detector, the one with a dead battery in the kitchen drawer. Not as a reminder to test batteries, though she tests them now on the 1st of every month. As a reminder that 11 nights of Kodiak sleeping outside the nursery door was not anxiety. It was a shift she had called structured transition. He had called it something else in the only language available to him, with his body at a threshold for 11 nights, waiting for someone to understand. The next story is about a dog who knew there was danger behind a wall long before the smoke was visible.